To set the stage, everybody, I want you to understand I'm a huge Superman fan. I got Superman tattoos on my arm. I grew up with the Christopher Reeve movies. These movies are important to me. If you want to see a video of me just talking about the original 1978 movie, you can click there and check that out. But Superman has always been an important figure to me growing up as a kid in my entire life. Now I understand that character really hasn't had a platform that's really connected with modern movie audiences. We've had the cartoon series in the 90s. We had Superman Returns, which was it was okay. And also Man of Steel, as great as I enjoyed it. I think it's a fantastic movie. There's plenty of people out there that just really didn't connect with it because of a lot of complaints. One, he didn't save people. Two, it was too dark and gloomy. And three, Superman is supposed to be a beacon of hope. And then there was no Superman attributes within that movie. Again, I understand why they went that direction because, again, at the time, Dark Knight, DC was going for a more grounded reality in their movies that seemed to be successful with The Dark Knight making $1 billion. So I get that approach for them early on, but I get why people complained about Man of Steel. Again, I loved it, but I can see why people didn't connect with it and it didn't become the movie or the franchise that they had hoped. Now we have James Gunn here. And James Gunn, again, anything he's done, from Peacemaker to the Guardians movies to Creature Commandos, everything he's done, the Suicide Squad, I have loved. James Gunn has a unique talent with bringing the emotion out of characters and for us to connect with them. Hell, I'm crying over a CGI rabbit in Guardians 3 a couple years back, but he's got that talent. He loves comic book movies. And when they said that he was going to take the reins in this new DCU over at Warner Brothers, it gave me a lot of hope because, in my opinion, the Guardians movies in the MCU are some of the best, if not the best. And I knew we were in good hands. But having said that, I did have some concerns, two concerns mainly. One, I didn't want Superman movie to feel like a James Gunn movie. And you know what I mean by that. You know, there's a really emotional moment in a movie and then there's a joke that undercuts it. And that's been my main complaint with the MCU. And two, I didn't want this to be so different, the contrast being so different from Man of Steel that I was going to think it was stupid and silly. Because again, I enjoyed Man of Steel. So those are my two concerns walking into the movie. And I'm pleased to say that son of a bitch did it right. Now, what I love about this movie is that a lot of complaints that we had, again, does Superman save people? He saves tons of people in this movie. Does he give you does he inspire you to become a better person than what you are? Despite your flaws, we all have flaws. Are you trying to be a better person? Yes. When things go bad and they're at their worst, are you still trying to do the right thing? Yes, we get this in this movie. The other complaint that I've seen is that we really haven't had a good Lex Luthor in these movies, or like since Gene Hackman possibly, or maybe Michael Rosenbaum is considered one of the best Lex Luthors that we've had. I'm pleased to say that we get a comic book accurate Lex Luthor with Nicholas Hoult. And what I love about this, and I haven't seen many reviews from my other YouTube colleagues, but they nailed it. And really, if you don't know, Lex Luthor is a brilliant guy. He's like the smartest guy in the world. He's a genius. He's a billionaire. And he's always been jealous. That's the rooted emotion that he's always felt with Superman. He's always been jealous that this person who showed up out of nowhere undermined all the years of that Lex Luthor had put into the world. And it's the contrast between the two characters. You have a scrawny person who is just brilliant, and then you have Brawn over here. And the fact that people have always admired Superman and not him has always been his driving force, and him being envious of wanting to destroy Superman. He wants to humiliate him to show people that, hey, he's not what you think he is. Look at me. That's the root of Lex Luthor. And we get this in this movie. And I caught myself smiling in this movie, just seeing Nicholas Hoult go on these rants and just how insane he got with wanting to destroy Superman and people around him. You're going to get that here. Again, as far as the calm, cool, collected, Michael Rosenbaum, that's his take. Here we get a Lex Luthor that people have been asking for and have been complaining about since Man of Steel. You're going to get a comic book accurate Lex Luthor, period. The other thing they got right is the chemistry between Clark and Lois. Rachel Brosnahan, I believe is her name. She was fantastic in The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Go see that show if you haven't done that. She's fucking amazing. But the chemistry between her and David Cornsweet on screen, it feels like a natural relationship. It feels like a genuine relationship that people have feelings toward each other. There's a genuine connection there, and you see that on screen. So I believe part of the screen test they did with these actors is they had a chemistry rating to see how well they were on screen. You can have two good-looking people on screen, right? But if they don't gel, you're not going to get that chemistry. And here you can see it as an audience goer. So you're going to feel that. And also, I really do love the fact that Lois is very pivotal in this movie. She's not a damsel in distress like in the old cartoons or maybe Lois and Clark, the shows, or anything like that. She is actually a strong woman. She's out there and she actually assists Superman in a certain way. I'm not going to say what exactly, but she's actually contributing to helping Superman, not just being somebody for him to go and rescue and her just not knowing what the fuck she's doing. The other thing you're going to get is the most accurate, should I say accurate? You're going to have a comic book movie actualized. Let me rephrase that. You're going to get a comic book that's translated off the pages on the movie screen. You're going to get, some are calling this movie the most comic book movie ever made. I would agree with that, because this is like picking up like a DC annual, you know, the ones at the end of the year where you have an established story, established world, established characters. You're not getting an origin story. You're just getting something going on and they all got to work together to go conquer that item, whatever it is. That's kind of like what we're getting here. Superman has been established. There is some dialogue at the beginning of the movie that shows that how long he's been here, and he just lost his first fight. And then we see the sequence that you see in the trailer with Krypto saving him in the ice. And it's established that Lois knows Superman is Clark Kent, right? It's established that the Justice League, or the Justice Gang as they're called, is here. It's established that Lex Luthor hates Superman, and you don't need a lot of exposition. Now, to the casual movie audience goer who doesn't know a damn thing about Superman, will that be a disconnect? Possibly. I'm being honest, possibly. I can see some people complaining if they're not too keen on the world of the DC. Like, what does that mean? Why is Lex so pissed off at Superman, etc.? I can see that dialogue and that discourse, but as a fan of the material like I am, it all made sense and it was cohesive. So I can see audience or critics possibly complaining about that. Because again, if you go back to the MCU, what did we get? We had one movie, one character, one origin story, and it was sequentially told. It all made sense, and here we're going with a different approach, which is not bad, but it is a comic book movie, a world brought up into the big screen, right? And I loved it. There's going to be some insane things going on, you know, sci-fi gizmos. I don't want to spoil anything. Superman's fighting all these people, but it makes sense within the world that it establishes. And I, for one, loved it. There were times in this movie where, I shit you not, as a 48-year-old guy, it felt like I was watching an episode of Super Friends. Yes, that cheesy 70s cartoon with Tornado Man and everybody else in the Hall of Justice. There are times in this movie where I feel like I was watching an episode of that old cartoon. Some would say maybe Justice League Unlimited, that was the early 2000s, late 90s cartoon. That's what it feels like. It feels like a Silver Age Superman movie. It feels like a world that genuinely these heroes exist and they all have a purpose. They all have personalities, and it's done so well. I am shocked how well it portrayed this world. I am shocked at how good it is. I am shocked how much I loved it. This entire movie, I was smiling. As a Superman fan, I was getting a different Superman experience. Is this Superman that David Cornsweet portrays one of the best Supermen? No. I still think Christopher Reeve is the best actor to portray Superman. I think Henry Cavill is a different type of Man of Steel, not a great actor, but he looks like Superman. Here, you feel the closest you've ever felt to the Christopher Reeve aura in a Superman movie, but it's two different types of Superman. Let me kind of recall here, back in the first Superman movie, Superman at 18 years old met his dad at the Fortress of Solitude, and 12 years passed. So he had time to mature with his father and to become Superman. Here, you can see that Superman is just a young adult trying to do the right thing. He knows he's flawed. He knows he makes mistakes. He knows he makes decisions without really thinking it through. You've seen that in the trailer with him and Lois having that dialogue. And he can be a little like shouty. I don't know if that's the word I want to use. He can be a little shouty, but he's a young adult trying to do the right thing. He just doesn't know how to communicate that. So you get two different Supermen, but still he is trying to do the right thing. Despite how bad things get, despite how horrible the odds are, despite what's going on with him, he's trying to do the right thing and save as many people as you can. This movie is so damn inspiring. It's so damn hopeful. You will enjoy it. A big complaint with a lot of us lately is that comic book movies have lost their heart. In my opinion, I've said this many times, there really hasn't been a great comic book movie outside of Guardians 3 and The Batman. The others have been lackluster. I really haven't felt anything while watching these movies. And in this movie, I promise you, you're going to feel hope. You're going to feel inspired by this Superman movie. You're going to feel inspired and part of this world as you're seeing it just unveil itself. It's fantastic. Mr. Terrific's amazing. Guy Gardner's amazing. Hawkgirl, it's fun. There's some great cameos that come up in here and there. There are 2 post-credit scenes. They're not essential. They're not groundbreaking. They're just like kind of funny here and there, but there's really nothing that you have to stay for. But as a 48-year-old guy who's been a Superman fan his entire life, who saw this movie in a theater full of Superman fans wearing this shirt with a good friend of mine, with my kids and with my wife, you're going to love this movie. I love this movie, and I'm giving this movie a thumbs up. Superman James Gunn, you knocked it out of the fucking park. Superman, thumbs up overall. Must see. I'm going to see it again tomorrow in IMAX. I have to see it with another audience. Go see it. It's that good. Well, that does it for my review on Superman. And I really want you to put some comments down below, and I want you to tell me what you thought. I'm very curious because I know for a lot of young adults, you haven't had a Superman movie that you really enjoyed. I get Man of Steel. I get your complaints. I'm not putting that against you, right? I get Superman Returns being kind of boring. I'm wondering how young audiences are going to react to this movie. So if you're new to the Superman, genre, if you're new and wanted something different, I want to know what you thought of this movie. So please put some comments down below. I read every single one of them. And if you enjoyed this video and this review, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. It would mean the world to me. So until next time, everybody, peace out. Take care.